So basically, competition doesn't exist unless you convince yourself that it does. What's going on, everybody? My name is Travis Mark. Welcome to the Musician's Mentor YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please do check out the podcast. The playlist is somewhere on this channel. Also, on that note, please hit that subscribe button. It is extremely helpful. I look forward to, at some point, talking with you all. Let's get into today's topic, which is basically competition. My thoughts on this are pretty simple. I grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa, and from a very young age, I was in original bands. The original scene that I grew up in was extremely competitive. Now, I was young and easily influenced, and possibly some of the animosity that came across from certain other bands might not have been real. Maybe I took some of it wrong, so I will take some of the responsibility. But I do remember it being quite a competitive scene in regards to bands weren't really friendly with one another. Some were, but there was a lot of like, we're not going to help your band isn't going to help the next band. We're not going to make life easier on gigs with gear sharing or tours, etc., etc., etc. It just felt often like there was a lack of camaraderie. And for years, especially in my late teens, early 20s, I couldn't quite understand, I would often hear rumors about certain musicians, sometimes even about myself, just because people, I guess, felt competitive towards one another. And I get it, it did definitely lift that scene because all the bands were trying to outdo each other. But as I've gotten older, and I don't mean like recently, I mean as far back as 15, 18, 20 years ago, it started to occur to me that there is no competition. The competition in a music industry type environment is really down to what's in here. And you need to be comfortable with what you are trying to do. So you shouldn't be competing with other bands or other musicians. Sure, hold yourself to a standard. If you see somebody do something that inspires you to lift your own playing ability or career in a band or artistic kind of regard, by all means, look at it like that. But it should never have to be negative, and it should never get to a point where you are downplaying somebody else's ability just to feel good about yourself. If you see a band, a singer, a songwriter, an artist that you believe is good, even if it's not your bag, good for them. Let them do their thing. By you saying negative things about their acts, all that does is diminish you. You shouldn't have to diminish your own principles and values to make yourself feel good. I know that you just have to look around to see that that is easier done for some people than others, but it's the God's honest truth. You don't have to break others down to build yourself up. Rather, look at that act, even if you don't like them, and become inspired and motivated to lift your own game. There is no competition. I will say this a few more times during the course of this video. You are your competition. We are not competing with each other. The music industry is small, but it is large in regards to there is a place for everyone. And I'm not entirely sure why I even wanted to talk about this today. I was just thinking recently how blessed I've been since living in New Orleans, and how I've got such a great community of musician friends that are so close that I genuinely feel like we're more like family. And it got me thinking about, why were those first few years as a gigging musician so emotionally draining for me? Why were they so hard? Why did I do so many gigs where, band guys from other bands would be standing there like this, checking me out like I was the worst thing they'd ever heard? I was just a kid trying to make music, and there are still hundreds of thousands of kids just trying to make music. And they, at one point, were just kids trying to make music. So rather than having this animosity or this hard external shell portrayed for up-and-coming musicians or fellow musicians, we should embrace each other and know that we can help each other build both musically and spiritually and emotionally, and as people. We can grow and we can all become better humans and just lift the industry in a positive way, because the industry so often gets shunned for being so crappy. It doesn't have to be. Some of the best people I know, some of the best people in my life have come from the music industry. And I want to thank them. And I want to thank you if you're watching this video. And I want to tell you that you don't have to be the guy that's like, oh, that band sucks, dude. Even if it's not your cup of tea. That band doesn't suck to everybody. Your band might suck to some people, but your band's not going to suck to everybody. So, in conclusion, there is no competition. You are your own competition, and instead of becoming competitive in an ugly way, use that competitive edge to build up the whole industry and watch things change. Thanks for watching, and remember, I believe in you.